Are you ready?
Yeah, I think I just hit go live, right? Am I not doing this right? Am I live or no? Yes? Now I'm all confused. I'll have to have them tell me. Hey, everyone out there in the land of YouTube. Excuse me. I'm having a hard time figuring out when I'm live. It's Friday. Welcome to Friday Night Live. I'm Annette Dion, the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that I'm here and I'm not invisible. It's a good feeling. How y'all doing? How was your day? I'm going to ring the bell to start. This is a start bell. Warren, I'm going to ask you to answer that question for yourself. Lots of love. Happy Friday. We are on the very brink of a full moon in the sign of Virgo. And it happens in the morning. About like 8 a.m. Eastern time. The sign says discover your courage behind me. I hope we're all discovering our courage because we have a lot of courageous things that we need to be doing in this country right now. This crystal bell was compliments of a viewer in Montana who she doesn't leave her name. I'm assuming it's a she. It's, she writes like a girl, so you can kind of tell. And she's sent me lots of bells. So that's another one. This is an angel on the top. So thank you. If you're watching, M from Montana. There's another one that I loved, especially during the Christmas season. It's a dia. It's a dia bell. It's a bell with a dia. And I like this one too. And another. I've got so many. That's not even all of them. So I'm really blessed. This has an owl on it. And one more, and then we'll get started. And it is true that ringing bells raises the frequency and it clears the energy. So if you go into like a Hindu temple, there's generally a bell. Before you go into the temple, there's generally a bell that you ring over your head before you go in. So there, maybe you learned something new. So this week has been a little bit, gosh, I don't know if you can say calmer. It's been a little bit, I guess, less of like shocks than last week was, with all that energy in Aquarius and all these things happening that just kind of blew us out of the water, like the massacre at the Chiefs parade last Wednesday. That was last week, yes. And then Navalny getting murdered on Friday, a week ago today. And then, like this week, just finding out. This has been a week of finding out a lot of things. And it's bringing to mind how many times I have said. In fact, 2 shows ago with Kathy Beal, we were both talking about something huge that was coming that would be like the big reveal. Russia was in on everything. Connections to the enemy in on everything. And it might be because I've known this for such a long time. Maybe you have too. I think that you have. I keep talking about it. And so now it's like the big reveals are happening in terms of not only that we have people in our government working for Putin, but there's many layers to it. It goes very deep and has been going on for, some time. And I'm covering the time of the past 10 years, because we could say it happened at the turn of the 1900s, the early 1900s. I'm talking about this time span. So, yeah, I just heard about the NRA has to pay 4.4 million. Yeah, not enough. Anyway, yeah, that was good news. I see the NRA going bankrupt. They might have declared bankruptcy in the past. I'm not sure. And I've also seen connections to our enemies through the NRA. So anyway, in a fascist authoritarian under an authoritarian regime, I would not be able to talk to you like this. We would not be able to say what we wanted. We would not be able to say what's on our minds. Remember, Alexei Navalny's mourners, after he was murdered, the mourners that showed up with, I know, 100 billion, please, for LaPierre from the NRA. Absolutely. Totally agree. Like, you can't put a number even on the lives that you know, he indirectly is responsible for, LaPierre. People were putting flowers to commemorate Navalny, and they were being arrested. They were being arrested because they were expressing their compassion. So let's really, that's why my sign says discover your courage. And it's funny because after I put that sign up this week, I started to see signs that said courage in different places in the United States, like billboards and stuff. So that just tells me that we're all in the same vibe. We're all connected. We're all in the same vibe. We're all in this together, as we said at the start of COVID, again and again and again. And together we can make a difference. And together we have to make a difference. We have a madman, a murderous madman named Vladimir Putin, who there are people, members of Congress, not only praising and thinking, oh yeah, it's a good thing, and we don't want democracy. They're actually doing that. Members of our Congress. Not only do we have that, but now we have the evidence that they've just been going, you know, the Jim Jordans and the Jimmy Dunce Comer has been like, well, you know, yeah, let's give us what you got. We just want to be important. Give us that 1023 form. Let's send it to the FBI. How long that investigation went on? And it was all lies, and they knew it. Crystal Blue's Persuasion is saying now the Russian mourners are being sent draft notices, Putin sending them to Ukraine to die. It's amazing to me. I'll get into the cards momentarily, but you just got to hear me out so I can just get it off of my mind. It won't be off of my mind, but it will help because I want to know that you guys understand. We have people in our government that have been colluding with Russian spies, and they haven't been arrested. They haven't been sent subpoenas. Jim Jordan is on his 600 and something odd day, I don't know the exact number, of not answering the first subpoena, which was in regards to January 6th. This makes me crazy. Oh, these earrings were a gift from one of my viewers. They say democracy. It's very hard to see. These are from Ethel. She made them. And I was like, okay, I'm going to wear them for my show. They're kind of big. But thank you. Thank you, Ethel. They're actually not too heavy, so maybe I'll be able to wear them out. Anyway, so hi, love you too, love you too, love you too. So we come together. Why didn't Russia take Tucker as hostage like they did the dancer? The show's not over yet. So we come together and we help each other out. We help, and it's this energy that us coming together that makes a huge difference. I heard some of what happened at CPAC. Fortunately, it wasn't a lot of people that showed up at the domestic terrorist convention. And I'm saying that because that's what they call it. The last time they had CPAC, that's what they were calling it. I heard them actually saying, we're here to end democracy. CPAC, you know, the Trumpsters, the MAGA. We're here to end our democracy. We're here to end democracy. Rah, rah, rah. Literally. We're here to end democracy and replace it with Christian nationalism. Rah, rah. I mean, it wasn't that big of a crowd. They had, you probably already know this, but if you don't, they had a pinball machine made I don't know who plays pinball anymore, but there were, I don't know how many pinball machines that were, pinball machines have a theme. Like the last time I was in Maine, I was at a laundromat, and or 2 times before when I was in Maine, I was at a laundromat, and there was a pinball machine with Aerosmith, which is kind of cool. I should have played it. So there's always, pinball machines always have a theme. So they had a January 6th theme. MSNBC is doing a show on autocracy.com. Yeah, we need a lot of that. We all need to be talking about this. Calling January 6th attackers that were out for blood and murder. Remember the noose? January 6th attackers, treasonous, seditionist attackers that are now serving time. Calling them hostages is working for the enemy. To call them hostages is like, look, I'm working for the enemy. Elaine Chow's sister died on Mitch's ranch in Texas. Shipping tycoon family said it was suicide and have denied on autopsy. Well, are you thinking that was something else? I'll have to look at that a little bit more, Damon. That's the first I've heard of it. The story has been suppressed by the media, and Texas police are getting involved. Okay, well, if you know any more about that and you have a question, we can look at it. We're going to start with asking why. Well, maybe it hasn't happened yet, but just like after January 6th, Donald Trump should have been arrested on January 7th, 2021. So what I'm going to look at is Jim Jordan and James Comer need to be arrested. And will they be? And Warren wants to start with a group hug. When we surpass 200 people, welcome all of you. Thanks for coming. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. All right, ready? This is a countdown. 1, 2, 3. Group hug time. That is the best gift. That must have been when the show was ending, when what's her face? B was leaving, right? Maud. Anyway, we'll need some dad jokes tonight. Which cards shall I use? Are you feeling that full moon energy? Kathy told us that it wouldn't be as kind of upsetting as the last one. Blanche. You're Blanche. That's great. Yeah, I could see Damon. That would be, Blanche. That fits you. Norman Lear was such a great comedy writer. He will never be matched. It's amazing. Golden Girls was a very funny show. During the pandemic, I caught up on all that stuff. So I'm going to pull 3 cards about this. They're treason. They're traitors. My goodness. A couple hundred years ago, they would have been executed for this. I'm not saying they need to be executed. I'm just merely pointing to the fact that it's such a heinous, despicable crime to be colluding with the enemy. I thought Norman Lear did Golden Girls. Am I thinking of someone else? Thank you for correcting me on that. Was it All in the Family? Can somebody look that up? Maud's personality was scary. Who did Golden Girls? We'll figure it out. Electra Storm, you said it, so you got to provide us with the correct answer. 3 cards about their fate. I'm not feeling like they're. I do feel like they're unstable. They're feeling very unstable. The two Jims, the treasonous traders, and I do feel like even though yesterday and the day before they were doubling down, and they, Jim Jordan was just like, "Well, the facts remain the same." I was like, "There's what facts? They're not. They're all lies." The guy just told the FBI that he lied about all of it. Norman did All in the Family and Maude. Norman Lear. Did I just say that or am I losing my mind? Let's get to the question. What's going to happen to Jimmy Jim Jordan and specifically those two? James Comer. I'm reading these cards, which are a little tricky. I'm pretty sure this is a justice card. The DOJ is actually waiting for more secrets before they arrest them. I do see that they're looking for more information, and they might be able to get more information out of the Russian spy, the liar spy. I definitely feel like on the phone to Putin, that was the Russian spy. I'm definitely feeling that. But this is a high priestess, and this is justice. So they're wanting to uncover more secrets. This is a DOJ. This is justice. They're wanting to uncover more secrets before they make their move, and they're going to see if they can. This not a plea deal, but it's some kind of like. I don't know if you'd call it a plea deal, but they're waiting to get more. They're still questioning the Russian guy. You like my glasses with the bling bling? I think they cost $1 at the dollar store. Thank you. Kind of on an emergency trip. I need some glasses. All right, because these cards these are the Jungian tarot, and for some reason they don't write any words at all. I can pretty much tell what they are, but just for the sake of simplicity, we're going to switch to the Llewellyn tarot for a minute. And was I right about Norman Lear? Was that correct? You call them cheaters, the glasses? They don't work very well. Okay. I'm going to actually pull 3 cards about Jack Smith. Just checking on the energy there. Good old Jack Smith. Remember, karma is Jack Smith. Karma is Jack Smith. Woo! Can't really see it with the light on it. Karma is Jack Smith. Dwell on it. Not just him, but a lot of it is kind of up to him. The AT&T outage wasn't a cyber attack. I don't get that it was a cyber attack, but you know what? I was a little annoyed that they didn't. Why don't they just tell us what happened at AT&T? Somebody's asking me something. Susan Harris did Golden. So, Susan Harris did Golden Girls and Norman Lear did All in the Family. Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you. You get a bell for finding out the information. I bet you a lot of people think it was Norman Lear because that era, he was writing them all. Yeah, it seemed like he would have written that one too. All right, good. I'm glad to know the right information there. Jack Smith. So how's it going? I mean, I'm just going to see what I get. Not necessarily that I'm tuning into how his emotional energy is or anything like that. I'm just seeing, what's going on around him and everything. He's being told a lot of lies. Jack Smith is dealing with a lot of being told a lot of lies, but he knows it. He's got the receipts on January 6th. There's not one time that I am picking cards about what's going on in our country and I don't get 6666666. You bet Jack Smith is tired. Yes, and he's a triathlete, so I think he has that, that gene of you just keep going. People, we have more energy than we think. If we just tell ourselves that we have energy, we'll muster it up. And he has that, the Knight of Swords. I always get the Knight of Swords for Jack Smith. There's no slowing down, though. There's no slowing down. Just like there's no slowing down in a race. Yeah. Yeah. Tina Rogers has been feeling overwhelmed this week. Welcome to the club. You're in the right place. Take breaks. Learn how to breathe, and come to Grassroots of Democracy 20 on Tuesdays. Because here's the thing. If you come to 20 on Tuesdays, a guided meditation for a healed America, even if you don't come, but you're on the list, you receive a guided meditation in your inbox the next day. The one that we did on Tuesday night. This has been for 2 years now. People, come on, use the resources. Then when you feel overwhelmed and stressed, you can just listen to it. Right, Terry? You should pop in sometime. Terry's behind the scenes there. She's my producer. I love it. Yeah, as far as Jack Smith is going, yeah, he's having to sift through the lies. But the guides are saying that Jack Smith is he's like a human lie detector. So that's good. You'd like to hear what Jack Smith says about all those jokers behind closed doors. I get the sense that he's so familiar with people of that ilk. But it's taken time to get through the lies to the truth. Let's pull 3 cards about now that this Smirnov, it's not spelled with 2 F's, it's spelled with a V, Smirnov. I just wonder if he's connected to the vodka company. Jack has ESP. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Jack has ESP. I would think that you'd have to have a pretty refined psychic sense innately to be as good as he is at that. You don't think Jack takes any BS? I know. He got arrested. Yeah. Not getting the newsletter you signed up for? Oh. I send a newsletter with the Zoom invites to the meetings. Let's see. Oh, wait, a little trivia here. CM says, you bet it was Norman Lear's idea for the show, The Golden Girls, but didn't have time to write them all. Probably. That's probably true. How are the Putin Republicans going to fare over the next couple of weeks? That's what I'm going to ask. How are the Putin Republicans going to fare over the next couple of weeks? Hand Trump over to the Chicago Police Department. They'll get the truth out of him for what he did. I'm starting to think, and if you Google what happened to Mussolini at the end, you'll see pictures of Mussolini. And because souls kind of follow the same, let me explain. This is the way that I received, the information about our souls and past lives, is that it's like an architect's blueprint or an astrology chart. But I like to think of it as a blueprint. And there are impressions from our past lifetimes. The most impressionable past lifetimes that we came here to continue or to work out stuff about. So I kind of feel like I think we have soul memories and we remember our trauma. We, on a cellular level, I feel like our souls imprint what happened. And on a cellular level, we kind of remember on a subconscious level what happened. The reason I'm going on about this is because I have this sense that the loser is coming into a time where he fears his demise. And I'm going to pick these cards about the Putin Republicans and how they're going to fare over the next couple of weeks. But I'm also keeping in mind at the same time, at the same time, that just like the Mussolini lifetime, that's my psychic impression. I stand by that. I've told you for a long time. I feel like his soul is remembering that it ended badly before. And he's wondering, he's fearful about what's going to be this lifetime. Another dad joke. I had a date last night and it was perfect. Tomorrow I'll have a fig. I kind of was onto that a little bit. All right, good. How are the Putin Republicans going to fare over the next couple of weeks? They're going to be trying to spin. They're just going to be spinning away. They're going to be so dizzy from spinning. And you're going to hear a lot of Jim Jordan's humming, right? You know what I'm talking about. Too late for him now, for the loser? Yeah, Damon, I agree. I bet he's very, very scared. Okay, this is a sword of truth. And this is the Putin Republicans that are attempting to continue to spin. And here's the Knight of Wands. The communication about the truth is going to start gaining momentum. You heard it here. Yeah, I agree, Damon. The loser is a horrible person. It's going, the truth of all of this is going to start gaining momentum. The pit of hell opened for him. Yeah. So, the past 2 nights, I think my favorite anchor on TV of all time is Lawrence O'Donnell. Maybe because he's from the Boston area, or I don't know. I think it's that he has a very confident demeanor, Lawrence O'Donnell, no matter what's going on. I like the way he delivers the news. So last night, what he was talking about was he was talking to Mary Trump last night. And what Lawrence O'Donnell was talking about was how he was talking about Trump's, I'll just use the name, Trump's cognitive function. Yeah, he's calm. So whenever, like, he's calm. And that's what we need. We need an anchor delivering the news in a kind of a matter of fact kind of tone, with a hint of we're gonna get him mixed in. And I'm not to say that I don't enjoy an awesome rant like what Ben Meiselas does, the Midas Boy. I love that too. Well, I had a couple of good belly laughs last night, and we need to belly laugh to get us through. When Lawrence was pulling statements that the loser has said at his rallies about, like, there's faucets and the water doesn't come out of the faucets, and just like crazy stuff that he's saying. And he was comparing the Donald Trump from the 1980s, a clip of him talking about what it is to build buildings in New York City, you know, from an architectural standpoint. And then the way that he talks now, and it's clear. Stephen Colbert makes you laugh. The late nights, I get annoyed at the late night shows because they talk about Joe Biden's age. We're not in a time to be joking and swaying people away from the president right now. But anyway, I digress. The loser is he's definitely losing his cognitive function. He's definitely losing his cognitive function. It's right there. It's right out in the open. So Hakeem was awesome on The View. I did see that. That was really good. Yeah, Lawrence gets a twinkle in his eyes when he's talking about justice. That's true. That's what I like. And he makes you feel reassured. So, okay. Colbert, doesn't he love Biden? Well, what I'm speaking to, Gloria, is how many times I hear them making big fat jokes about Joe Biden's age, and Joe Biden has not shown signs of cognitive function slipping. Joe Biden has shown signs that he's 81. Joe Biden has shown signs that he has a stutter, and it's been a lifelong stutter. And Joe Biden has shown signs that he gaffes, because he was known for that. Before he even became vice president, we'd laugh at the Biden gaffes. He wasn't so much in the limelight then, but, you know, we've always known that about him. Anyway. I don't know where shall I go next? Am I sending Lawrence love letters? I should. I love it when I get positive feedback, because, you know, everybody thinks that someone else is going to do it, and sometimes you find out nobody did it, right? Let me take a look at Marjorie Trader Green. What do you say? I do know, you know, I put the Lauren Boebert and the Marjorie Trader Greens in like 2 peas in a pod in the same kind of little box. I'm sure they would hate that. But Lauren Boebert is finished. So we don't need to read on Lauren Boebert anymore, because I know she's done. I know she's not going to get her seat back. I know it's not going to work out for her in the 3rd district or whatever it is in Colorado. So, yeah, Biden's an amazing warrior for everyday people. Biden, the amazing warrior for everyday people. I just ordered a sweatshirt. I didn't get it yet. This is Biden Harris. So the money goes to the campaign. And by the way, Biden's campaign is knocking it out of the park, way, way exceeding the loser. Yes, Joe Biden he's the most presidential president. He's way up there with the most presidential presidents. And he's a class act. Deborah wishes she could ride a bike. Aw. I hope you can. 3 cards about Marjorie Trader Green. Just because. Biden raised exponentially more money than the loser. And the loser's money is gone. Did you hear the latest about the sneakers? If you haven't heard, let me tell you. Those golden sneakers, they featured a red sole. And is it Louis Vuitton has the trademark on that, on the red soled sneakers? So he's going to get sued. Let's just, before we go to Marjorie, let's see if their trademark. Yeah. Yes. Is it Louis Vuitton, I think? Is he going to get sued? Is Trump going to get sued for that? Is Trump going to get sued for that? It's up in the air. It's up in the air. The soles of the shoes. No, it's not. No, it's definitely, is he going to get sued for that? It's up in the air. It's not been determined yet. Yeah, it's amazing. Totally amazing. Marjorie Trader Green. Well, what I have here for Marjorie Trader Green is lots of hurt. This is a little bit of, we won't get you in as much trouble if you stop causing all this trouble. We won't get you in as much trouble, Marge, if you stop causing all this trouble. I'm not saying she's off the hook, but I kind of have the sense that somebody's telling her she better tone it down because here's justice. It might just be her awareness. So this is like lots of pain coming for her because of all that's known about her nefarious crimes, that she's a criminal. And this is about, you know, wanting to make nice in a certain way. Yeah, Barbara, I was aware of that about Mary Trump. I heard Mary Trump complaining about Jon Stewart when I attended Mary Trump's Q&A Zoom on Sunday night, and I agreed with her wholeheartedly. This is not a time to be making fun of the President of the United States. And in the old days, there was never a time for making fun of the President of the United States, no matter how much you disagreed. So, yes, Cheryl's got, yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of the spearheaders of January 6th. So I'm seeing how much trouble she's in, and I'm seeing her trying to make nice with somebody, so she'll be in hopes that she'll be in less trouble. And this is a justice card. So justice is on to her. They haven't seemed very comfortable lately. You can donate to me. Oh, by the way, I make my money from you. So I don't have a boss. You're my boss. So if you can donate, it's much appreciated. And thank you to those of you who have. All right. The tower card just came up. It just popped out of the deck. And furthermore, the guy's like, furthermore, Annette, tell them this. The tower card's coming for them. It's coming for them. And the guys are saying we must stay engaged. We must stay engaged. You try to listen to Jon Stewart apologize? Well, I'm going to write to Jon Stewart. I am. Sometimes it just takes a minute. Christian, I read something else. Christian Louboutin. How do you pronounce that? Yeah, that's why I said, yeah, I had it wrong. I said Louis Vuitton. I'm not getting these like people right tonight. I read it. When I read it, it's Louboutin. I don't know how to say it. So I kind of mixed it up in my head and thought Louis Vuitton, but that's wrong. See, I'm not into designer things, can you tell? I would never pay $3,000 for a purse. I think that's the silliest thing ever. Jon Stewart used to be cute. Well, you know, Jon Stewart needs to figure out where he's going to stand. It's like baton, right? Yeah, thank you, Marge. Jon Stewart needs to figure out where he stands, right? And for that matter, we all need to know where we stand, right? There's a great John Mellencamp song that's you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. So true. I'm actually going to pull 3 cards about Jon Stewart. Like, he'll succeed if he tells the truth. And you know, when Jimmy Kimmel starts going on making fun of Joe Biden's age, my head goes right to corporate. Enough with the Louis Vuitton crap. What do you mean by that? Marjorie Taylor Greene can use her free COVID money to pay a fine. Oh, I'm talking about way more than a fine. Jon Stewart. Yeah, it's not really working for him. It's not really working for Jon Stewart. Let me tell you what I pick up on that. I pick up on that he's probably not in his best form to be doing that show. Maybe he thought he was up for it, but I'm not really seeing that he's up for it. Hang on. Time out. It's enough that I'm doing here that I don't need to be distracted by negative comments. I'll just have to stop reading the comments, and you guys are so funny and fun. I don't want to stop reading the comments. The Emperor this is Jon Stewart I don't think he's really ready for prime time. Yeah, it's no longer 2016. If he keeps it up, and I see the Emperor here, so what I'm picking up on is he's getting death threats. With the cancellation of student debt, that will help to get Biden reelected. Warren, that's great. You didn't ask me the question. You just said it. Yes, of course it's going to help. Definitely. Yes, thank you, Damon. Thank you for your support. When I put people in timeout, wrenches assemble, wrenches unite. Thank you to the wrenches. I don't really see a wrench on StreamYard. I can't really tell if you're a wrench, but thank you if you are. When I'm just straight on YouTube, straight live streaming straight from YouTube, I do see the wrenches. So thank you. I'm going to read the blowback for what, Betty? I lost the plot there. Okay. All right. The wrench is here. Yeah, I can't tell. I don't see a little wrench next to your name. Thank you. I'm going to read on Joe Biden and how that's all going. This is a big load. Boy, they've been fabricating lies about the Bidens for a long time. Betty, what blowback are you referring to? I'm curious. Jon Stewart? Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Let's just ask this question while we're on the topic. Because, pop culture, these late night shows, they're talking about the news, right? We got to be conscious of what we're saying. And when I call the loser, I'm doing it because he is, and because he calls other people names continuously. There's not anything that comes out of the loser's mouth that isn't like a horrific lie or a name calling, right? Yeah, well, that's good. So people spoke out against Jon Stewart for complaining about Biden's age. Let's just chat. Is Jon Stewart, is he going to stick with it? I get that he'll stick with it. He'll do better. I do feel that. He'll do better. Timeout chairs actually do work. Yeah, and the other night I had to ban somebody entirely. They were being totally out of line. All right, let's pick a fairy card. I'm gonna pick a fairy card just for the fun of it. Jimmy Kimmel's being sued by George Santos. There's my QR code if you want to get in touch. If you want to support my business by, helping me to support you. Dad joke to override the negative. Here we go. Drum roll. What did the police officer say to his belly button? You're under a vest. You must have a book, Thomas. Let's pick a fairy card. Let's just take a little pause for a fairy card. Fairies, oh fairies, the fae. The forest fae. This is a forest fae little deck. One time I was visiting a friend down the street, and she has a deck that's a small deck, but it was a full moon, and it had rained, and I didn't see where I was sitting because it was dark that on this little terrace. I didn't see that these cards kind of fell into a little bit of a puddle, so they were charged by the moon water. So they're pretty good. Thomas, you're killing Joan over here. She's cracking up. Okay. You remember, Damon remembers, did you get a timeout? Yeah, people were really mad because they thought you were a troll. And I was like, no, Damon, he's okay. Darren bought 2 pendulums today. Good for you. So, Lady of the Lost is the Fae card. Give to others, treasure life and all its magic. There you go. Give to others, treasure life and all its magic. I just love that. That's so sweet. Thank you, Fairy. All right, I'm going to go back to the Llewellyn Tarot. I'm going to read about Joe Biden and how it's gone since that stupid impeachment inquiry has fallen apart. How it's going for Biden now that that impeachment inquiry has fallen apart. And 2 nights ago, Lawrence O'Donnell, which I don't always catch him, but the past 2 nights were really good. See if you can look up. So that would have been Wednesday, the 21st. See if you can look up on MSNBC Lawrence O'Donnell's show from Wednesday night. And he spoke at length about the trouble that we're having with getting people to pay attention to what truly matters. What truly matters is that the President of the United States is doing the job of leading the country. And that happens not in front of the camera. So, and he spoke, Lawrence spoke to, I'm just like singing Lawrence O'Donnell's praises tonight. Maybe I'll write to him. What he was citing that was so important was like the people that are Democrats that actually give you this line. Well, I don't know. He's kind of old. They need to be sat down and talked to. Lawrence is on YouTube. Sometimes it's a strange name that's showing the video on YouTube, so I don't really know if it's a good idea to click on something that's not a familiar name, but hopefully it's on MSNBC on YouTube. It's so important that we understand that it doesn't really matter so much how somebody presents on TV. That's how we got the loser. Speaker Johnson is not going to seat the lawfully elected New York Speaker. What? Do you mean the lawfully elected New York Senator? Suzanne, is that what you meant? I don't pick up that he's not going to seat them. He doesn't have the option to not seat him. We have to get the point across to everybody that it is critically important that people aren't judging Joe Biden by his appearance. Do we want to be attacked by a foreign country? They're chomping at the bit. Well, let me, 440,000 views, Lawrence Scott. You're all writing and calling. Good. We'll read on that. I hadn't heard that news that Johnson was not going to. I don't see how he would have any power over somebody being sworn in. It's a coup. We'll get on that too. That's why we have grassroots of democracy. We look at what's going on. We go, okay, we're on it. Joe Biden. Yeah, it's a really big load off of his mind that they found out. I get that Biden knew all along that this was fake information that was being fed to these Putin Republicans. He can legally not seat him. I don't pick that up, Suzanne. I don't pick up that it's legal for him to not seat him. Yeah, I don't pick that up. I can read on it. I'll have to look at the news too. Yeah, this is so as far as Biden goes, I have the page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. Now he can get on with his message. And I really feel the young generation, just out of college, just out of high school, are going to start rallying for Biden. And I have the Knight. The members of Congress that are like in their 20s and early 30s-ish or mid-30s, they're going to be making an impact. They're going to be spreading the word about Joe Biden. So the fascist of the House. I just found a new name for him. Remember we used to call Kevin McCarthy Marshmallow? Kevin Marshmallow, hostage of the House McCarthy. Oh, Damon wrote to the president. Yes, they do write back. You received a personally signed letter from him? You couldn't believe it? Wow, that's so awesome. Also, if you watch Midas Touch, Jordan Mysalis and his wife had a brand new little baby a couple months ago, maybe last month. They named it Elijah. And you might have seen this in the after show. Jordan said this envelope came to his house, and it came from the White House, and he opened it and showed it to his wife. He was so excited, he just almost like, he just freaked out. And it was a letter from Joe Biden congratulating them on their new baby. And it was signed. It was funny. I don't know if you guys go attend the after show. You have to be a Patreon member on Midas Touch. It was so awesome. The signature bled through the page because it was like in a magic marker pen. So it was real. Lawrence O'Donnell with Mary Trump had 144,000 views on YouTube. That's great. And Popak is having a baby too. All right. I'm going to ask about this MAGA Mike fascist. We don't see good things for MAGA Mike. We'll just say we don't see him succeeding. You wrote to him about expanding the Supreme Court. Good. That can happen. I've predicted that will happen. I predicted that Joe Biden would get 3 more justices seated. In the duration of the time he's president, he'd get 3 new justices seated. And Ketanji Brown Jackson was 1, so 2 to go. Jordy told the name of the baby is Elijah. Yeah. Is MAGA Mike Johnson going to successfully not seat Tom Suozzi? That's not going to be successful. I'm kind of picking up that the Democrats are going to have to and will, might take a little while, find ways constitutionally to deal with traitors. Yes, sirree. Okay. What's going on with Putin? Oh, I think I have to get out the dark cards. The only reason Darren watches MSNBC is for Lawrence O'Donnell, so I'm not the only fan. I like Ari Melber. Who else do I like? Joy Reid I never see because I'm doing something at 7 o'clock every single weeknight. Monday, Wednesday, Friday with all of you. Tuesday, Thursday, Grassroots of Democracy. I'm telling you, I'm giving it all away. And where are my nefarious cards? So I don't get to see Joy Reid, but I do like Joy Reid too. Where hast I put my dark cards? Oh, well, we'll just stick with these. I just hide things from myself. You like Chris Hayes? Chris Hayes is okay. MSNBC, as far as the mainstream, they still don't give us all the news, but as far as mainstream media goes, they're the only ones I watch. However, speaking of news networks, you have to see the documentary with Alexei Navalny that he made in 2020. It's on CNN. You can find it on YouTube, I believe. You have to watch that. It's riveting. It's amazing. YouTube commercials are out of control. It's worth it to me to upgrade for that. I was really struck by, and I really do read this about, when I watched that documentary, not to the end, it was a little hard to take, about Alexei Navalny and what he went through. And when he was poisoned to the point of near death, it's amazing that he didn't die. He was a really strong Russian man, big guy, Alexei. So he was poisoned, was Novichok, horribly poisoned on a flight. They flew him into Germany. They flew him into a German hospital. They rehabilitated. They brought him back to life and rehabilitated him. And then he knew he wanted, he had to go back to Russia. There's the bottle drop. It was Alexei's kind of like life path. He wanted to go back. He needed to go back to Russia. I'm going to tell you, follow the thread. In December of 2020, as Navalny was going back to Russia to meet his fate, which was to be arrested, during that same time in December of 2020, the insurrectionists in our government, along with the loser, were planning the insurrection. I have it in my mind that it feels like there was a master plan that involved, and they put poison in his underpants, right? It felt coordinated to me. It felt like they were connected. I also want to say, and I'm grateful that we live in a democracy. I also want to say that I always picked up that the loser was always talking to Putin. He must have had his phone number. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. During the Black Lives Matter protests, there's a picture, I'll show it to you next time. Remember during the Black Lives Matter protests, there were these strange militia coming up to the protesters and hauling them away in a white van. Do you guys remember that? Just taking these protesters off the street and whisking them away in a white van. I mean, the people that are asking, is Navalny's his wife's life in danger? Isn't it obvious? I mean, I'm not being flippant. And I have a picture, and I'll show it to you next time, of just a teenager, and she's like this. And these guys in these police uniforms are throwing like a smoke bomb at her. So that was all going on at the same time. And I'm going to ask the pendulum. Was it, like I'm picking up on, a coordinated effort for Putin to take America down through the insurrection that I believe, for entertainment purposes only, that Putin was part of the planning of that, directly or indirectly. So if Navalny was going back, all hell was breaking loose. All these people in Russia that wanted Navalny and wanted to, build this kind of revolution, this movement. If the insurrection worked here and that had all happened in Russia, I don't know. It just seems like Putin would have had a lot of power. A lot of power. Because he was intervening with the loser. The loser's been in contact with him for a long time. So, anyway, what do we need to read on? Let's read on Ukraine. No, before we read on Ukraine, but it's connected to what's going on for Ukraine. Clearly. Let's pull 3 cards on MAGA Mike. The Kremlin is now putting people in prison who put flowers on the... Yeah, I just talked about that. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. 3 cards from MAGA Mike. I really do feel like the Democrats are going to find the ways, because they have to save our country, to work around these fascists. The more connections and the strength of the connections that are uncovered to the Kremlin, yeah, the weaker these fascist Republicans become. No matter how much Jim Jordan's going to do, it's not going to be enough. And Jim Jordan is shaking in his boots. Don't let him kid you. Well, he doesn't hide his fear very well either. The the cuss words, supposed Surgeon General of Florida, oh, he's a beaut, says not to get vaccinated for measles. What WTF is wrong with these people, and how do they attain these positions? They're fascists. MAGA Mike. Quickly. Oh, I just see him being ganged up on. I see MAGA Mike being ganged up on. I see MAGA Mike being ganged up on not only by the Democrats, but also by law enforcement. I'm not really sure what that's about. Because the chariot card is here. I'm seeing a swift end to his shenanigans. Maria prays everyone votes blue. Yeah, well, make sure they vote blue. Sit them down and read them the Riot Act. You better vote blue, right? Better join Grassroots Democracy. By the way, if you come to 20 on Tuesdays and you get a guided meditation for Healed America recording the next day in your inbox, it's a really good way to kind of learn how to meditate too. MAGA Mike only gets one chance or he's out. Well, he's out if he goes against the loser. That's the way it stands right now. That's the situation. Is MAGA Mike going to get ousted? Yes, very strongly. I get yes. Is it going to be? Well, it's like not even a full week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a full week left in February. It's a leap year. Will it be in February? No, it won't be. Will it be in March? It will be in March. I got that before. Resident astrologer said that March, April will be very stressful for MAGA Republicans. Yes. And this uncovering of the Russian spy who was feeding lies, all lies. I've told you guys before that in the Catholic Church, Satan is called the father of lies. Makes sense? Oh, me oh my, it's been an hour. Let's read some tea leaves. Everybody keep your eye on the ball. Keep your eye on what's going on. Do not ignore Comer Pyle. I heard that the other night. I cracked up. Was that on Midas Touch I heard that? How do they still plan to impeach Biden? They're just saying that. They got nothing left. I mean, think about it, Suzanne. How do they still plan to impeach Biden? I was thinking about this very thing last night when I was driving home. How are they planning to impeach Biden? It's not through the lies. But what I got was that's the only thing that they had. The only thing that they had in their little, arsenal box of, ways to impeach Biden. That's all they had. Yes, the hour does go fast, doesn't it? Sometimes I go longer, but I think we've covered mostly what we need to cover. And one of these days I have to intermingle shorter videos because I want to get more subscribers. Please subscribe. Keep your eye on the prize. Did John Lewis say that? Good for him. Catholics are scared of. I'm working on a program, a 40-day program to heal religious guilt. Putting it together now. Just so you know. I'll let you know when it's ready. 3 cards for the community. How about if we do that? Like for the algorithm. Thank you. Like for the algorithm. I'm also getting ready to write a new book. And I'm also, I recorded the first song without a band about January 6th last week. And I'm going into the studio next week to record the second song. I'm making a record called Songs for America. Damon's asking, did Elaine Chao murder her sister? No, I don't pick that up. I pick up that she harassed her, but I don't get that she murdered her. I don't know anything about that story. Community cards. something popped into my head today, and it was that in the not too distant future, which I think is a really good thing, in the not too distant future, we're going to start referring to the lies as Russian propaganda, in the sense that where we'll be going, is that true or is that Russian propaganda? Because when you really look at it, like Fox is Russian propaganda, right? But it's going to get clearer and clearer. Oh, we have a dad joke. What would the Terminator be called in his retirement? The Exterminator. Honestly, Thomas, you can't be just making these up in your head. Damon, I agree. The hour feels like 5 minutes. Warren's asking for a group hug. I'm not done yet. I haven't read the tea leaves. So community cards, don't think that, I keep getting that the more that's being found out, the more imminent their demise is with the January 6th trials. And the reason I started talking about, we're going to start weighing things out and going, is it real or is it Russian propaganda? The reason for that is that it's going to be so pervasive, the Russian propaganda. I think Thomas has a book of dad jokes. I'm starting to think that's an awful lot of dad jokes to keep in your head. You don't have to tell. You don't have to reveal your secrets, Thomas. It's fine. Yeah. The 6 of Wands and the King of Wands. And Joe Biden's going to get stronger and stronger. Stronger and stronger. And when we're all scared of what's going on in the world stage, we're all scared, more and more people, it will unite us. It will truly unite us, that we're all, there's really nothing stronger than a collective energy that's all on the same page. It won't be everybody, but it will be enough of us. Republicans look really nervous. They do. I totally agree with you, Damon. Shall we look at the tea leaves? We have a lot of energy in Venus. Oh, by the way, I already did read on Alabama and taking away in vitro fertilization. And just to remind you about that, because it is all over the news today, understandably. I feel that it's not really going to take. It's not really going to work. It's not really going to work for them to take that away from people. I mean, this gets real personal. This is like, families that haven't succeeded in conceiving because of, I don't know, this or that. And so they go to in vitro fertilization because they want a child. So now it's not just about misogyny and, kind of like indirectly violence against women, if you ask me, but it's not just the women. Now they're including entire families. They've lost the plot. Anyway, Trump spoke out to keep it. They're all over the place. You got to know what you stand for. I always think of Tim Scott. Like, what is Tim Scott doing? He's looking like such a weak jellyfish. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so I see Venus here, and above Venus there's a big fat angel. It also looks like a bird. And then I see a bunny. And then so there's an angel and a bunny, which is about fertility, and the sun this is going to be highlighted. I don't think that IVF ban is really gonna, a lot of people had IVF. I don't think the ban is really going to work. I don't think it's going to succeed. And I feel like it's going to be the beginning of the crumbling of the Republican Party. We don't have a Republican Party anymore. We have a Putin party. The Republican Party does not exist anymore. Yeah, women are mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore. That is true. I get that strongly. I see a dog running into Saturn. So a dog represents loyalty and friendship, and it's running into Saturn, which is telling me that it's our friendships, it's our connections that are going to help us through the hard times with Saturn. But also, and the full moon is it's in Virgo. So it's Earth, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and that's Earth. So there's a lot of like, look to look to the loyalty of friendship. GOP is now the POP, Party of Putin. Yeah, I have been calling them that for a while. Our strength is in our loyalty to one another. Really important. And that's where we become better and stronger. This looks like a big pile of money to me. The economy being the best in the world, the United States economy being the best in the world, that's nothing to sneeze at. You see a man kissing someone's hand? That's lovely. We'll have a tea leaf reading class. It just popped into my head. We should do that sometime. You see the dog? Yeah, there's a dog running into into Saturn. And there is an angel here. And there's a bird right above Venus. When we take a higher view and a higher perspective, let me tell you what I mean by that. When we take a higher view and a higher perspective about the challenges that are happening with women right now, when we kind of step back for it, you can see how these issues have created this like really strong energy of where people get really involved, and it's just like not on our watch. And there's a lion. This is interesting. It's like a lion holding a torch. That's interesting. Hang on. I need to look up the lion. It must be, well, in the tarot means strength, right? Lion, lion, lion. Have I mentioned how fun it is to hang out with you guys on Friday nights? Well, always, but especially Friday nights. The lion. That's like Leo energy. I'm grateful that you're here with a torch in his mouth. Yeah, it's interesting. Lion. A majestic beast, often suggesting powerful friends or influential contacts. A female lion or lioness promises enhanced vitality, optimism, and successful family. I don't know how you tell, but either way, this is a very fortunate symbol. So the lion is showing up here, which means what's coming in the future. I'm going to say it's a lioness. What's coming in the future is a woman holding the torch for the future generations. Yeah. Interesting. The moon is in Leo. Oh, the moon is still in Leo? That's right. Hang on. It goes into Capricorn right now. Well, it goes into Capricorn. It's the 23rd. It's the 23rd already? Good Lord. No, Virgo. I keep saying Capricorn because I was looking at Saturn. It goes into Virgo in about 25 minutes. Enjoy the full moon. Yeah, women need to run everything. That's what I'm seeing. And the bottom of the cup is like what's coming in the future. So it's a lioness holding a torch. See? It almost looks like the image of like a Chinese like art. That kind of a thing. And a torch. I don't know if there's a torch in here, but before we go, I will look. I'll look up fire. And then I'll let you go. So fire is passion, anger, and all the hot emotions. Yep. Are you aflame with desire or burning with rage and ambition? Intense feelings close to the surface. So everybody learn how to breathe. If you feel overwhelmed and stressed, force yourself to sit down and breathe slowly. Last dad joke. Why did the man fall down the well? Because he couldn't see that well. You're killing me with the dad jokes. Thanks for making us laugh, Thomas. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for your love and your light and your support and your goodness and your generosity. To donate, it's in my description. And my tip jar, I'm going to probably designate for my record. So if you donate in my tip jar, I've decided today that'd be a good spot if you want to donate to my record that's going to be funded by you guys. Songs for Democracy, and I'll talk to Terry about making a slide for that. Sometimes I just throw things out there that I didn't tell Terry about. So thank you, Terry, and we'll see you real soon. Church of Spirituality is Sunday at 1. If you're not watching Church of Spirituality, you're missing out. Check it out. If you're a member, tomorrow night is our psychic party, a full moon psychic party. It's not too late to join. At the higher 2 levels, the High Priestess and the World, if you're signed up for a membership here, you're invited to a psychic party once a month. And you can now, I'll do like a reading for you if you come. I'll do a little mini reading. The memberships will help to support this channel. I'm not earning enough to keep going, so I really need your help. Not that I won't, but I need to make you all aware. We're here for each other. Love you all, and we'll see you soon. Namaste. Take care.